Good day, dear learners. You are welcome to our study session 3, which is Essentials of Pig Production Enterprise. Recall that in our study session 2, we talked about sheep and goat production enterprise. And by now, you should know and understand what sheep and goat enterprise is about. You should have understood the qualities of small ruminants that endear one to rearing them, and then you should be able to identify the breeds of sheep and goats that we talked about. Also, we talked about mating and mating methods, and I believe you should know that one by now. Also, we made mention of the routine management practices that were engaged in everyday management practices. And also we talked about the terminologies used in sheep and goat production enterprise. And of course, you should know by now the ways and methods by which you can market the animals and the products derived from them. In this our section 3, it is expected of us as learning outcomes to know pig production techniques. 2, to explain how pig enterprises sustainably run on commercial basis. And thirdly, to be able to establish and operate a commercially viable pig production enterprise. Introduction. By way of introduction, let me tell you that pigs can be found all over the world. They are kept by peasant farmers and also in commercial outfits. They can be found in schools, they can be found in colleges, in research centers, in universities. They can also be found scavenging in the local areas or tethered in some places. Pigs are multiparous, that is, they are capable of giving birth to many offspring at a time, and they are omnivorous, that is, they can eat both plants and animals. However, there is a major taboo against rearing of pigs and eating of its meat, especially in Muslim enclaves. However, the increase in worldwide demand for meat has accentuated the growth of pig enterprise in the livestock subsector. Pigs production has intensified significantly in recent times, and more pigs can be found on few farms that are on ground now in this country. A lot of people are going to pig farming because it is becoming increasingly profitable, especially when it is well managed. What are the advantages that are derivable from pig enterprise? 1, pigs produce very important meat of proteinous nature. Pigs are fast-growing animals, and they convert feed efficiently, more efficient than ruminants. Pigs bears many offsprings at a time, and they multiply very fast. A sow at a time can give birth to between 5 and 15 piglets at a time, and they can give birth 2 times in a year. They are easy to feed because they eat very wide range of feed. There is a high demand for it also, and so people are buying it. And then also they are relatively small size and more flexible in marketing compared to cattle. What are the terminologies used in pig production? These include one, boar. That's a matured male pig with intact testes. Sow. Sow is a matured female pig. Gilt is a young female pig that has not been mated or served. Servicing, that is the act of mating in pigs. In sow, that is a pregnant sow. In gilt, that is a pregnant gilt. Farrowing is the act of giving birth, act of parturition in them. Piglets are young ones that have not been weaned, that is, they have not been separated from their mother. Litter is a group of young pigs that are given birth to by a sow at a time. Weaning is the act of separating the young pigs from their mother. Weaners, that is growing pigs that have been separated from their mother or dam. Have hog, barrow or castrate. These are castrated male pigs. Pork is the meat from pigs. Lard is the pig fat. Bacon is the salted pig meat, usually from the sides, belly or back of the pig. Gestation is a period of pregnancy, that is from conception to birth. A sire is a good or proven breeding male or dam. A dam is a good or proven breeding female. Wallow is a water-filled depression or container large enough for pigs to lay in for cooling during hot weathers. What are the factors to consider for pig enterprise? Well, if you want to start a pig enterprise, the following factors should be put into consideration. One, availability of capital. You will see that I am stressing it. It is very important. Without money, you cannot start any business. And pig operation requires money. It requires money for buildings. It requires money for equipment. It requires money for utensils, for feed, for water, for labor. For animals you are going to purchase, hence capital is very important. And it can be from a safe capital, savings, from loans, or from friends and family, or from lending institutions. It is very important. Money is the first thing. Then you need water and resources. You need feed and water resources. It is very crucial. Feed is very important for optimum production in any pig enterprise. Then you need land. Land is where you are going to put up your buildings. The buildings where you are going to keep the animals. It is very important that you put up the buildings. Then you need a ready market. There is no sense in you producing animals and then at the time of marketing, there is no market for them. So it is very important that you have markets. Types of operation. What are those types of operation that you can carry out in a pig enterprise? One, we have a general producer. What do we mean by this? A general producer is somebody that produces all types of animals. I mean pigs in all classes. Is it winners? Is it parent stock? You know, they are keeping everything, every stages. Either the mother, the dam, the males, the young ones, all of them. Once you get to their farm, you can see every class of pig there. They are general producers. But we have also specialist producers. These are specialists in their areas. They may just concentrate on foundation stock breeding. That is, they will just be producing winners for those people that will come and buy and slaughter. They are specialists in just buying winners and fattening them up for slaughter. So we have specialist producer and we have general producers. Breeds of pigs in Nigeria. There are a lot of breeds in the world, but the ones that are domesticated in Nigeria and very common on most commercial farms in Nigeria are exotic breeds. And these include the large white, which is the most commonly found breed in this country. It is white in color and it has erect ears. The ears are upright, they are standing upright. They are very prolific. They have good mothering ability also, and they have been well adapted to the tropical region. We have landrays. Landrays also look like the large white. However, it is longer in length than the large white, and it has drooping ears, or the what they call droopy ears. The ears are just dropping. They are also excellent mothers, and they produce good meat for baking. Then we have Duroc. Duroc ranges from light to dark brown in color. They do not produce very good carcass, but they are very hardy and survive very well in our tropical climate. Then we have Hampshire. Hampshire are black in color with a white belt around the shoulder extending to the forelegs. They produce very good meat also, and their meat may be more than that of large white or the landrays, and they are also excellent mothers. Other breeds that can be found on farms in Nigeria include Pitrain, Wessex Saddleback, the Tamworth, and then we have our local breed, which is usually small in size and black in color in most cases, and they are usually very hardy. Management systems. What are the management systems that can be used to rear our pigs? We have the three major ones, the common ones. That is the intensive system, the extensive system, and the semi-intensive system. Under the intensive system, the animals are well confined inside. They are not allowed to go out. Everything is provided: feed, water, health care. They are guided against so many things. They are kept in their pens very well. And the farm is well monitored. Records are well kept and everything like that. Under the semi-intensive system, which is a system in between the intensive and the extensive, the animals are kept indoors also, but they are allowed some space to move out within a localized area that are monitored too. But under the extensive system, the animals are allowed to just roam about in the streets, and this has been discouraged in so many areas. Pigs cannot be found on the streets again, so people are not encouraged to use that system of management anymore. Most importantly, once you want to rear pigs for commercial production, you should be ready to use the intensive management system. Housing. Proper planning of housing units for pigs should commence with site location. It is very important that you have a site that you are going to rear your animals, and such sites must be far away from residential quarters or hospitals. If it is not far away, you are going to have problems in future, because people around you will start complaining about effluence and odor. And there is no way you are not going to wash your pens every day. So you start having problems with them. So the best thing is to go far away from residential quarters, from public buildings, and then site your farm there. Temporarily, one can use bamboo planks or edge planks to make pig rooms. But a standard farm, we use blocks to erect buildings for the animals, and the pens are well spelled out with a very good height that the animals cannot jump, and then enough space for the animal to move around. Such housing unit must provide comfort for the animals. It must provide adequate ventilation. It must provide lighting That is, there must be light. There is no way the pens should be dark. No, because the animals also requires some sunlight for some of their physiological processes. Ease of cleanness. Yes, the house must be easy to clean. Then there must be supply of clean and cool water at every point in time. There must be supply of cool and clean water. Then good feeding and drinking troughs must be provided in the house, and the house must guarantee constant temperature. Constant temperature. Pigs do suffer from cold, especially the young ones. So we must have a space for them, that a room or their pens that guarantee constant temperature. Here you can see we have different space requirements for different class of pigs, and they are well respected. Feed and feeding. Feed costs over 75% of total production of pig production. In pig production, that is to say that feed is the most important factor in pig enterprise. If we do not feed very well, the animals will not get to maturity on time, and then our profit will be reduced considerably. So we must be able to provide feed of good quality and quantity at every point in time. And ingredients in making pig feed varies, and they include maize, cassava, sweet potato, wheat, barley, sorghum, oats, cereal browns, grains, all of which supply energy, while the protein sources include soybean cake, groundnut cake, palm kernel cake, blood meal, fish meal, and so on and so forth. Vitamins and minerals should be provided in premixes and salt also, so that the meal, the feed now for the animals can be adequate and of good quality. Pig feeds can be purchased from feed millers all over the country, and one can go to the feed mills also and mill the feed. Give them seek professional advice on feed formulation and get it. Types of feed used in pig production. We have absolutely about 4 types of feed. We have the crib feed, the winner or grower diet, the fattener's diet, and then the breeder's diet. Each of these class of feed is given to each class of animal. The first one is given to the young ones from maybe the 4th day to about the 6th week or 7th week. Then the second one is from, which we call the winner or grower diet, is given to the animal from the 6th week, from the 7th week till the animal attains a weight of 45 kg. Then we have fattener's diet. These are given to animals just to fatten them up for production, for meat production. And then the breeders, these are the ones that are given to the mothers, that is the dam and the boas. Qualities of a pig feed. What are the qualities required for any feed you want to give our animals? 1, it must be balanced in nutrients. It must contain all nutrients that are required for good growth. The energy, which you call the carbohydrate, the protein, the vitamins, the minerals, the salt, all of them must be there. And those quality cannot be compromised in any way. Then the feed must be well processed and packaged. It must be fresh and attractive so that the animals can eat it very well. You cannot be giving stale feed to animals and then they will eat it. No. It must be easily digestible. It must be palatable and available. It must be affordable, and it must not be stale. Above all, it must support optimum growth and development. Quantities given to animal per day are also spelled out here. Piglets, 0.2 to 0.5 kg per day. Winners, 1 to 1.5 kg per day. Growers, 2 to 2.5 kg per day. And adults, that is the breeders, is 2.5 to 3 kg per day. Other agricultural products can also be given to them just to supplement and reduce cost of production. These include cassava peels, cocoa pod husk, yam peels, plantain peels, and brewer's grain. All these are in those days past given freely, but now they also are bought. So you must seek them, but it is good to have them to reduce the feed cost. Water. Water must be supplied every day. Every day. Clean fresh water must be supplied every day for the animals. They must have it because it is very essential. Apart from drinking, water is required for cleaning every day. We should clean our pens. Our drainages must be clean. If not, the farm will not be good for us to look at. Breeding. Breeding is for productivity. A boar that is to be used for breeding should have attained at least 12 months of age before it is used for mating, while the gills should be between 6 and 8 months old or between 60 and 70 kg for optimum production. A boar should make about just 3 services per day, per week. Mating methods. What are the methods that are required for mating? Pen mating, hand mating, and then artificial insemination. Pen mating involves placing a boar with a group of sows without observation. It is expected that the male, the boar, will discover the female animal on heat and then mate. Hand mating requires that the attendant will discover the female animal on heat and then take the female animal to the boar in its pen. Artificial insemination. This is the scientific method of mating through which semen is collected from proven sires and then processed and used to inseminate sows. What are the undesirable traits to be selected against when we want to breed an animal, especially our females to be used? 1. Inverted teeth. Any animal with inverted teeth, that is curved teeth, is not expected to be used for mating because such animal may not be able to milk the animals very well. Hernia, either it is umbilical or inguinal. It's not any male animal that is having hernia should not be used for mating. Cryptorchidism. Any animal that has cryptorchidism or semi-cryptorchidism, it should not be used for mating. Anal prolapse. Any animal that is showing anal prolapse should not be used for mating. And then we have shakers. In fact, shakers can never be used because right from the one they are usually very small and do not grow very well. Pigs for breeding. Pigs for breeding should not show any of these signs that we have mentioned. And then we should look very well at our animals before using them for breeding. It should be noted also that mating should be done in the evenings and in the mornings and evening rather. Breeding should be done in the mornings and evenings. Gills should be observed for signs of heat and then brought to eat by sight, sound, or smell of the males. So when we see this, when the female animals are on heat, and as a husbandry man, we observe this, we should take the female animal to the male in his pen. 2 services is enough with an interval of 12 hours. Once we do this, we return the female to his pen and then continue to monitor it. What are those signs of heat that we should watch out for? They include general restlessness, the vulva turns red and swollen. Then we can see a female animal that is on heat riding other females in the group. And when pressure is applied to the loin region of the animal in heat, it will stand firm. That shows it is ready. And then such animal should be taken to the male, and immediately the male will ride it. And once it rides, it conceives, and then we can take it back to its pen. If it doesn't conceive, it will return to heat in about 3 weeks. The gestation for pigs is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. That is 114 days. A week before service, the gate should be given extra feed. This is called flushing, and it is done just to enhance ovulation, and that means the pig can produce more offspring than just normal. Farrowing, we said, is the act of giving birth in pigs, especially the sows of gilt. About 8 to 10 days to farrowing. Using the mating record we are having, we should move the sow or gilt, in sow or in gilt, to the farrowing pen, and then we'll wash out. There are some signs that we can watch for in the pregnant animal as the pregnancy advance, and then we can adequately predict that it will soon farrow. These signs include swollen teeth, extended stomach, docility. You see the animal not moving very well, slow movement, that is slow movement, then abandonment of it, and then the enlargement of the vulva. That is in preparation for the expulsion of the fetuses. So on the day of farrowing, one should observe the gilt very well. And once it starts farrowing, we should not disturb it, but stay somewhere and watch very well in case there is a problem that we can come to its aid. The placenta should be removed immediately after farrowing, and we should ensure that the mucus, especially that of the head region of the offsprings, should be cleaned by the husbandryman if the mother did not lick it away. Fostering. What is fostering? Fostering is helping to raise young pigs that their mother died. If perchance there is a mother that farrowed almost at the same time, it makes it easier. And what we just do is to follow this process. One, we remove all the piglets of the dead mother, and of the living one, we remove them from the mother. Then we rub them with urine and feces of the mother we want to foster them on. And after rubbing thoroughly the urine and feces, then we now return them to the mother and watch whether the mother will now allow all of them to suckle. If it does not, we should remove them and repeat the process until it accepts all of them. Incidentally, one thing that God has not endowed them with is that knowledge for numerical ability. They cannot count, at least to say, no, I gave birth to 4, now I'm milking 8. They don't have that numerical ability. They will just, once the fostering is done very well, they will accept the piglets fostered on them. And then, if not, we can prepare artificial milk substitute and colostrum for them. Weaning. This is the act of separating the piglets from their mother. And this is usually done between the ages of 6 and 8 weeks. However, intensive weaning can be done between 2 and 4 weeks. And this means that we have a lot of work to do when we do this, because we must be watchful very well and make sure that the piglets we wean are well attended to in terms of feed, especially the milk provision for them. Identification. How do we identify our animals? There are so many ways to identify our animals in case there is a mix-up. We can use ear notching, we can use tags or clips, and we can do the tattoo. Ear notching, we have a picture of ear notching here that you can see both the left and right hairs of the animals, and the numbers representing each one of them. Handling and restraining. Why do we handle animals? We handle them when we want to examine them, when we want to weigh them, when we want to treat them, when we want to transport them, and when we want to market them. It is very essential we handle and restrain them. Restraining is done to prevent the animals from hurting the husbandryman. You know, the pigs also can be hostile, and then can, in the process of carrying them, they can hurt or wound the market, the husbandryman. Then marketing. How do we market? Marketing are done in two ways, majorly. One is selling on hoof, or the one we call selling on live weight. This means that the animals will be weighed and then sell according to prevailing prices. And such prevailing prices should not be the one that will rob the farmer of his profit. So any farmer that wants to sell his animals must make sure that he has a good record of all inputs and be able to calculate very well the price at which to sell to make his own profit. Then they can also process, that is, we slaughter the animals, slaughter it, and then sell the meat, that is pork, and the products from there. So it is very important to know those two ways that we can use. And of course, at the beginning, I did mention that if you don't have a good market, don't go into pig production, because it is of no good reason for you to produce your animals and not be able to market. The least common diseases of pigs. There are some diseases and pests that affect pigs, and farmers must watch out for them to forestall losses. Such diseases include the ones listed here, and we should know that it is important that when a farmer observes that the animals are showing some signs that are abnormal to the normal ones, he should call in a vet to come and diagnose the disease and treat accordingly. Record keeping. I've said earlier that it is important that when we want to dispose of animals, we should be able to calculate all the costs involved so that we will have profit. Record keeping gives us this advantage, and if we are able to keep our records, it is going to be of great advantage to us, and then we'll be able to make good profit from such places. Important records that should be documented in pig product enterprise include records of input, records of constructions, water provisions and utilities, labor inputs, mating records, farrowing records, weaning records, health records, feed inventory records, financial records, cost of veterinary operations, and so on and so forth. All this will assist the farmer in determining a profitable price. Once we do this, we can be sure that embarking on any initiative of pig enterprise will bring forth profit for us in future. Thank you very much. And I want to believe you have learned something out of this.